The bottom line is that the burden is now on the actual individual that's running the business or the homeowner to be able to protect themselves. So we've seen a big shift and we've become more proactive in that manner, whereas a lot of old school security thinking was put in cameras and have somebody look at the video after the incident happened. We're putting the analytics and the people watching it in like a virtual overwatch is what we're calling it, where we're actually monitoring for things, hoping we can catch it before it happens. I'm Dave Clark and I own American Threat Assessment Consulting. We're a security integrator, full services from beginning to end and then afterwards as well. So we'll do monitoring, virtual operation centers for you if you don't have your own security operations center, as well as service it and make sure it's functioning properly, and even up to the point where our services can dispatch cards for you as well. I'm fortunate enough to have my wife in the business with me and we work together, and our core values, we're a Christian conservative company. We changed after a couple years of running the business, changed the way our company outlook was, our motto, our manual, everything went to base it around God. And it really made a huge difference for us, because when you do stuff that you may not agree with for other people and their belief system and how they want you to handle certain situations and you're not comfortable with it, it's their business, they own it, you gotta do it, right? But when you own your own company, you get to make those decisions and you get to do things that may make other people feel uncomfortable, but if they're along the lines of our values and our morals, we're okay with other people being uncomfortable. We're not gonna be a perfect fit for every customer. We're gonna be a good fit for anybody who really wants to have security done by people who care and people who have values. My past had a lot to do with, I thought I was gonna go in public service and stay there, right? I started out EMT school in college, kind of knowing that even though I was getting a college degree, I was gonna lean towards public service. Wasn't sure, fire department, law enforcement, there's a whole story behind that. But ended up in law enforcement and serving. And then the security kind of just happened, right? It made sense, because where else was I gonna go with law enforcement experience, the security industry experience I had, other than stay in the industry of security. So when I went to work for another company and ran security and low voltage for them, it all aligned. And in all honesty, the technology was great, it was fun, but my original starting of American Threat Assessment Consulting was to be a consultant, really. Did law enforcement for a while, Redlands PD of Southern California. It was a great experience, loved it. I feel for a lot of my buddies that are still in it. And a lot of them that were in it when I was there are gone. And a lot of the guys that I worked with at the time were of the older generation. I believe they were in it for the right reason and they wanted to do good and be law enforcement officers. And I saw a lot of what was happening with my department in particular in Southern California area, which it leans a certain way and cities tend to follow, that people got a little bit more interested in, they have a college degree and they wanna make a good salary, right? And that was the opportunity for them to just come out and do a job, but not really have any history of a desire for service. And that's where I think the biggest difference came that I saw. People weren't in it for the right reason, in my opinion. And it's unfortunate, because there's still a lot of really good, I always say it's 95% in everything, right? 95% of people are in it for the right reason, but that 5% really can put a thorn in the side when they're in it for the wrong reason. And that goes for everything. We've seen it in education, law enforcement, healthcare, across the board. People that want to serve, they generally want to be around others that want to serve as well. And it's difficult when you get put in an environment where departments are more concerned about what the media thinks or what the paper is going to write about them than what their actual people that care about what they're doing are doing. Unfortunately, and not to blame any of the law enforcement agencies that really care, because there's a lot of them. We see a lot of it out in Arizona. We're blessed in Scottsdale with a great department. We can see it, and they want to respond and they want to do things. The officers that I've interacted with anyways, but their hands are tied. And more so in areas like Southern California, because we still have our main office in Rancho Cucamonga, and their hands are tied. They are telling you what they're not responding to. And so this big shift has really caused a burden on business owners. I have friends in businesses that are being forced by insurance to put armed guards at their door because they're in retail and all the smash and grabs are happening. Well, in theory, that's great. You feel safer, you're better, but no one thinks about the payroll burden that puts on a small business. Now the law enforcement is basically in their hands, because unless someone's being stabbed or shot at, we're not responding for a burglary, which to me, a lot of these are robberies. They're not burglaries, the way they're coming in there. I guess that's a whole other conversation, but the bottom line is that the burden is now on the actual individual that's running the business or the homeowner to be able to protect themselves. So we've seen a big shift and we've become more proactive in that manner, whereas a lot of old school security thinking was put in cameras and have somebody look at the video after the incident happened. we're putting the analytics and the people watching it, and like a virtual overwatch is what we're calling it, where we're actually monitoring for things, hoping we can catch it before it happens. Lock down facilities, advise law enforcement, hey, there is something violent happening right now and it's live and you need to get there now. That way they're not getting a call with like a burglary or something afterwards. We're directing them, hey, we're watching it and we want you to respond because we don't want to be solely responsible for what happens here. We're a company that cares. We want to be there for you through your security integration from the beginning to end. And we've built a core group of people. Our team has followed me or my wife, our core group, through multiple companies, and they're there for the long haul and they care. One thing we always joke about, whether I was a cop or I'm in the security industry, if you told me tomorrow that the world was a safe place for my kids and I can't sell security to you anymore, I would find something else to do and I'd be the happiest person on earth. But while you need us, we're gonna be there to sell and install and maintain and help you secure your facility to our best. And we do have the greatest technology. We're very fortunate for a company our size to have the leading lines in the world. We've been awarded for it. Axis Communications, one of the biggest camera manufacturers in the world. We won their Dealer of the Year this year for all Western states. People our size, we're competing against national and global integrators. People our size don't get that opportunity too often. We're blessed, and it's because we believe in what we're doing and how we can use that technology to enhance the facilities we're working with.